And we can get started. Welcome to Yoga for Cancer. I'm Rebecca. And we were just, before we started, we were talking about the pain of missing people that we love, the pain of being separated, the pain of not knowing when we'll next be able to connect with the people that we love. So let's work with that. Let's take a comfortable seat and allow your eyes to close or take a soft gaze. And begin to notice your sensory environment. Notice what's beneath your feet. Notice the weight of your hands in your lap. And the feeling of your clothing against your skin. Notice the light filtering through your eyelids or eyelashes. And any sounds that you hear close by in your home space, maybe a little further away outside. And then allow your attention to turn more deeply inward to your own breath. Noticing the breath maybe for the first time today. When we talk about our sadness, maybe there's a catch in the breath. Or we feel a squeezing in the belly, in the chest, in the heart, in the throat. I think someone said that it's grief, and that is the truth. We feel grief often in the throat, like a constriction. So take a moment and bring those people to mind, the people that you miss, the people that you love. And feel the grief, feel the pain of missing them. Allow it to be present. It is welcome here, along with everything else that we feel. And you'll notice that there is a sensation in the body, wherever it is for you, in the belly, in the chest, in the heart, throat, maybe somewhere else. Take a moment and bring the sensation of your breath right to that place. Can you imagine a softening and an opening in the heart, in the throat, the belly? Can you let go of the thought of missing your loved ones and hold on just to the sensation for the next few breaths, allowing the wisdom of the body to help you heal this sadness by bringing your breath right to it. Feel the constriction, and then feel the expansion, the opening that the breath can bring. It doesn't mean that the pain goes away. It just means that we can move with it. We can move through it. We can breathe with it. We can breathe through it. Allow your breath to deepen and slow, creating a softness and opening. And we notice that pain and grief, they aren't constant. They ebb and flow just like the breath does. And they pop up at a moment's notice, all kinds of triggers. but the breath is constant. And we can use the breath to our advantage. We can make the breath our ally and let it help us to stay with whatever we're feeling, to stay and soften and open just a little bit. Let's pause in some silence and take about 10 slow, open breaths. Move at your own breath speed. Notice what you're feeling and let that be okay. Trusting the wisdom of the body. Take your time completing your breaths. And then return to your natural breath. Let's bring palms together, feeling the energy, feeling our own touch against ourselves. Let's rub and create some warmth. And then bring one hand and then the other over heart center. Feeling the heat penetrate. Feeling the sensation of touch. And allow this to be a hug, a sense of loving from each of us to each other, from you to your loved ones, and from them back to you. Now, bring your arms around. If it's comfortable, find a way to give yourself a hug. Really go with it, right? This can feel a little silly or awkward, but just take a moment and really hold on. Maybe rock a little bit from side to side. You can even rest your head against your arm. Just breathe into this sensation of hug. Let's take a big breath together. Let it go. One more. And release and allow your arms to come down. I took a class over the weekend that was called Gathering Wisdom, and it was really about, allowing yourself, she said at one point, to fall apart, land softly, and then gather. And we did that hug, and we did it for a really long time, and we switched arms, and it was really powerful. It was really kind of sweet and lovely. So I'm going to move back a little bit. If you didn't join right at the beginning of class, we're going to use blocks or some kind of a support strap, yoga belt strap, and maybe a chair if you have one handy. Okay, so let's move into our sun breaths. Inhale and allow the arms to just float up on the breath. Exhale, turning palms down, the arms softly land. Couple more, inhaling up and exhaling down. Inhaling up and exhaling down. The next time that you inhale, lift up out of your waist and then Turn to face your right knee and exhale, release the arms, really on either side of the knee. We'll inhale, come back to center, arms up. Exhale, turn to face the left knee and release the arms down. Let's do this a few times, inhaling in the center, exhaling a very gentle twist. Move with your breath. Maybe one more time to each side. And after your next inhale, allow the arms to softly come down. Let's shake them out. Let's come into bound angle pose, which is just soles of feet together, knees apart. But move back enough so you can see. And you see me shifting from side to side. I'm trying to get up onto my sits bones. Those are the bony prominences at the bottom of your pelvis. If you really can't find them and you're way back on your tailbone, then use something, maybe the edge of a cushion or a blanket, and tuck it so that you can sit up nice and tall. Hold on to your knees, shins, or ankles, and just begin to rock from side to side. Rocking is another really soothing thing for the nervous system. Gentle rock from side to side. And then come slowly and softly back to center. Scoot back one more bit. There we go. Okay, that's it. Okay, so from here, let's take the right leg out long. It'll be wide. And then bring the left sole of the foot in towards your inner thigh. Inhale and sit up nice and tall, and then plant your left hand. Inhale your right hand up and away from your extended leg. Stay for a breath. On your next inhale, come up through center and then lower your hand to the inside of your leg. The other arm comes up and over. Reach for your toes. Now, there are those among us who might be able to grab their toes. I am not one of them, but I'm just reaching in that direction. Inhale through center and exhale, stretch away. Inhale through center and exhale towards your leg. Once more in each direction. And the next time that you're inhaling, come up through center, and we'll switch legs, extending the left, drawing the right in. Inhale to sit up tall, exhale in place. Plant the right hand, inhale the left up and away. Flex your foot. Inhale through center, hand comes down, exhale up and over towards your toes. Stay for a breath and inhale through center and continue. Where do you feel this? The next time that you come up through center, bring your hands behind you and bring your feet up wide to your mat and begin to drop your knees from side to side. Internally and externally rotating in the hips. So one goes external, one goes internal. Stay with this sort of side to side or add the twist by reaching around behind as your knees drop to one side. Take your time. I feel myself going kind of fast, so I'll slow it down. Stay with this twist or rock, or plant your hand and lift and open as you come to each side. Just lifting up onto your knees, raising your arm. And this, so the next time that you come through center, we'll pause there. We're going to come up and over onto our knees. If being on your knees is not a good thing for today, sit so that you're on the edge of a chair. You can come right to the end and be supported. We're going to work with gate pose and knee down warrior pose. So from your knees, let's take the right leg and bring it out. I have it turned out. The knee is over the ankle. It can be wherever is comfortable for you, more or less, but kind of reaching out to the side. Inhale and sit up nice and tall. Exhale in place. Inhale, raise your arms just to shoulder height. Turn to look out over your right fingertips. Knee down, warrior warrior two. Reach through the fingertips, press down through your foot and your knee, and then imagine you could draw them towards each other, creating nice engagement in the lower body. Inhale, reach through the fingertips. Exhale, bring your right forearm to your thigh and reach up and over. Extended side angle. Inhale, come up through center. Lower your hand to your waist and bring the other hand up, palm facing towards you. Inhale through center, and we'll do that once more to each side. Inhale through center, hand to your waist. And inhale through center. Hold on to something if you need to, and we'll switch sides. Bringing the left foot out, knee is over the ankle. Come up nice and tall. Now your hip is not going to be open all the way out to the side. Come to where it feels comfortable. And make sure that your knee and your toes are pointing in basically the same direction. Don't let your knee come past your toes. The knee is right over your ankle. So from here, inhale, sit up tall. You can raise your arms to shoulder height. Look out over your front-facing fingertips, your left in this case. Press down through your knee and your foot and then draw them towards each other, creating an engagement in the lower body and the pelvic floor. Inhale here, reaching long, and then exhale, forearm to thigh, and bring the other arm up and over. Stay for a breath, feeling the stretch along the whole right side body. Inhale, coming up through center, right hand to your hip. Turn your palm up and reach up. Look up if it's comfortable, or look straight ahead. Inhale, coming through center, and we'll come to extended side angle again. Inhale through center, hand to your hip, and peaceful warrior, knee down version. Inhale through center, and bring your other knee down. Going to come into a child's pose. So bring toes together, knees wide apart. Let your hips sink to your heels, and then carefully and slowly make your way down. Allow your forehead to come down towards the ground. If the ground is far away, stack your hands or your fists, or even take a block or a cushion underneath your head. Take many breaths to settle into your back body as the front body is draping over your thighs. Big inhales to open up in the back. Exhales to let it go. Stay here or try walking your hands up towards the top right corner of your mat. Maybe your hips sink away from the reach towards the left side. And you get a stretch in the side body. Take a few breaths into whatever you feel here. And then when you're ready, carefully walk your hands through center, hips through center, and maybe over to the other side. Maybe the hips lean away and the breath comes into a side stretch. You're ready, inhale back through center. Take a few breaths there. Biggest, deepest breath into the back body. Exhale with a sigh, letting it go. When you're ready, press into your fingertips and walk yourself up. We're going to come all the way up to standing. So take your time and make your way. Take a moment to find Tadasana, your mountain pose. Feeling your feet about hip distance apart, maybe hands to the tops of your hips. Make sure breath is flowing. Really feel your connection to the earth. Maybe you rock side to side and front to back, lifting heels and toes. And then find a place where you feel centered on your feet, where your weight is distributed throughout your feet and between them. Inhale, reach up. Maybe you look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Look down towards your thumbs. Inhale, arms reach. Maybe you look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Look down. Last one. Inhale and reach up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Release arms down. Make sure you have your blocks nearby. And then take a wide step out on your mat. I'm not turning sideways so that you can see, but if you have a mat, you'll turn onto your long edge of your mat. So find a comfortable distance apart. And then when you're ready, we'll turn left toes away. The right heel will press away, so your back foot is slightly angled. Your front foot, knee and toes pointing in the same direction. Your hips are opening towards the long edge of your mat. Inhale, bend your knee just over your ankle. Raise your arms just to shoulder height. Maybe you turn and look over your left fingertips. Make sure you can find the breath in this pose. And then press down through your feet and imagine you could draw them towards each other. Keep the bend in your front knee and find that engagement in the pelvic floor and the lower abdomen, the core. Inhale here, and then bring your left forearm to your thigh. Right arm comes up and over. Stay for a breath, finding a long stretch from toes to fingers, or I guess from the side of your foot through your fingertips. Inhale, come back through warrior two. Keep that knee bent if you can. Turn your front palm up and exhale into peaceful warrior. Your back hand can come to your thigh or your hip or even wrap around behind. Try to keep that bend in the front knee. Maybe look up or straight ahead, whatever's best in your neck. Inhale, back through warrior two. Exhale, release arms down, straighten the legs. Turn your toes to face forward. Take a moment. We're going to come into a wide forward fold. I'm going to turn sideways now. And have your blocks or whatever support you're coming to. You could be coming to a chair like this. We're going to come into a flat back. Toes are pointing forward. Inhale, get long, and begin to hinge right at the hips, right? So we're not bending at the waist. Long waist, hinging right at the hips. Head is reaching forward. Let your knees bend as much as they need to. until you can find your chair or blocks. Long spine, wide forward fold. Please modulate here by bending your knees or coming up a little higher, whatever you need to do. Take one more breath here, and then bring your hands to your thighs and inhale, come all the way up with a long spine. Great job. And then we'll turn to work with the other side. So we did left, so now we'll turn right. I'll turn back this way. Turning right toes out, knee and toe in the same direction. Left heel is pressing away. So this leg is kind of turning in a little bit. This leg is turning out a lot. Inhale, arms to shoulder height. Bend your knee just over your ankle. If this feels challenging, try taking a wider step. Sometimes that's what makes it easier, sometimes not. Turn and look out over your front fingertips. Press down through your feet. Feel the support of the earth. Draw them towards each other and get some good engagement in the core. One more inhale here, and then forearm to thigh, top arm reaches. And again, this can be an elbow that's reaching or just the side body. You take the variation that works in your body to find a long stretch on one side. Inhale, lots of strength, come up through center. Turn the front palm up, back arm comes down. We lift up, maybe you look up. Hand to your thigh, your hip, or wrapping behind at your low back. Keep that bend in the front knee if you can. One more breath. Inhale, come back through warrior two. Release the arms down, straighten the legs, turn your toes to face forward. We'll come into our forward fold one more time. Inhale here, lift the heart. Exhale, bend right at the hips. Let your knees bend as they need to so that you can keep a long spine. Your hands can be on your thighs, or they can come down to blocks or a chair. And we're looking for a long stretch from your tailbone to the crown of your head. Breathe in and out, engage through the low belly. And to come up, hands to thighs, we'll inhale and come all the way up. Carefully walk your feet back in to center. Whew. All right, let it go. We're going to come into a balance pose. So get yourself to a situation where you have support, maybe a wall or maybe a piece of furniture that you can work with. Find your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Let's take a moment here. We'll inhale and reach up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Pause here. You can even close your eyes and reconnect with your breath. Reconnect with the earth, feeling the support beneath your feet. And then blink eyes open if they're closed and find your drishti or focal point, something in front of you that isn't moving. Maybe hands are on your hips or wall or support. Going to bring our weight into our left leg and just draw the right knee in and up. Maybe you hold on to it with one hand. Maybe one hand is on your hip or on the wall. Stay here or try opening the hip out to the side. Maybe the other arm reaches. Stay here or come back through center. Let's see if I can do it. Bring one hand across and then reach back behind you with the other arm. Maybe your head turns, coming into a little twist or not so little twist. Inhale back through center, draw the knee in. Whew, let it come down. Shake out your legs. We have one more side to do. I did my easier side first. So now my harder side. Maybe this is your easier side. Find your mountain pose. Find your support around you, hands to your hips perhaps. Sink into the right leg, draw the left knee in and up. Make sure breath is flowing, make sure eyes are on your focal point. Stay here, maybe this is enough. Or maybe you can open your leg out to the side. Maybe the arm comes out. Stay here or draw the leg back to center and switch hands. Reaching back behind you. Maybe you turn and look. That's the tricky part, right? Changing your drishti. Stay for a breath. Come back through center. Hold it up for one more second. Whew, let it go. Shake out your legs. Okay, this is a leg heavy day, isn't it? I am feeling it. We're going to use our blocks or our firm support to do a couple of step backs into warrior one. We will use the blocks and come into a chair pose. Let's inhale, arms up. And exhale, come forward, find your chair. Hands come to your thighs, reaching back behind you with your tailbone. Knees are back, they're not coming past your toes. Long spine. From here, reach your fingertips down to your blocks and take a step back with your left foot. Come into a lunge. Long stretch from heel to crown of the head. Hold here or lower your back knee. Maybe you'd like to come up in a knee down lunge. Exhale, release hands down. Back toes are still curled under. Find your lunge. And then take the step forward, long spine. So we're sort of in a chair pose. Maybe hands are on your thighs. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Take a moment to find your breath if it's escaped you. Let it come back to smooth. And we've got one more side. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, begin to bend into your knees. Maybe hands come to your thighs. Reaching back through your tailbone and forward through the crown of the head, long spine. Maybe fingertips come to your blocks. Let's step the right foot back. Find your lunge. Front knee is over the ankle. Back foot is pressing back behind you. Long stretch from heel to crown of the head. Slowly lower the back knee. Maybe inhale and come all the way up. Exhale, lower hands to your blocks, and we're going to stay down. So allow your knee to come down. We are going to make our way, hang on, I'm crawling forward here, all the way onto our backs. So take your time, make sure that your strap, and if you have a chair and you want to use it, that the chair is handy, or make sure that you're near a wall that you could bring your legs up on. So either legs will go up on a wall or legs will go up onto a chair, couch, or bed, or whatever's handy. Strap nearby. So first, just take a moment to rest on your back, letting go of the vigorous standing practice. If your heart rate is elevated, allow a long, slow exhale to help bring you back to a smooth breath. Draw your knees in and begin to rock from side to side. Another hug. Another way of giving yourself comfort. Slowly lower your feet down to the mat and grab your strap. Open it up, and we're going to lasso your right foot. I'll come down so you can see me. And the strap will go over your arch or the ball of your foot, whatever feels better to you. Holding on to opposite ends of the strap, begin to stretch your foot up, the sole of your foot towards the ceiling. Your knee can be as bent as it needs to be. Try to relax your arms, your shoulders. Hold the strap a little lower if you need to. Try not to hold it with a death grip, just a gentle hold. Wrap it around your fingers or your hands to make it easier. From here, exhale and bend your knee. Inhale and press up, stretching up through the leg. Exhale to bend. Inhale to stretch. 2 more times. And this, or the next time that your leg is extended, move the strap into your right hand. I'm going to wrap it around my hand for support. Bring your left hand to your left hip point, like the front of the hip, and then slowly allow the right leg to come out to the side. But don't let the left hip come up, right? We keep the left hip down and only go as far as you can with the hip squarely on the floor. You can bend your extended leg as much as you need to, and again, try to relax in your arms and shoulders. One more breath here. And then exhale and bring the leg up through center. And we're going to switch sides by holding the 2 ends of the strap in opposite hands, and then bend your knee as much as you need to. Can you bring your other leg up and in using the strap for support? Slip the right foot out. Left foot is reaching up towards the ceiling. Knee is bent. Sole of the foot is looking up to the ceiling. Couple of breaths here. And then exhale, bend the knee towards the chest. Inhale, maybe you can stretch a little bit longer, pressing up through your heel. Exhale, bend, draw the knee in. And inhale, move towards straightening, reach up. 1 or 2 more times on this side. Using the strap to modulate the intensity of this exercise. Come back through center, knee is bent. Bring both ends of the strap into your left hand. Right hand comes to the front of your hip to give you a little counterbalance. We'll begin to open the leg out to the side. Let your knee bend as much as it needs to. Try to rest your left shoulder and elbow even. Keep that right hip pressing down into the mat, into the floor. Breathe in and out through the sensations. And when you're ready, slowly draw the leg up through center and release legs down. Walk your feet out a little wider towards the edges of your mat. Maybe your hands come out at shoulder height or down closer to your hips. And just begin to windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Gentle movement, stretching out through the low back. Come back through center and let the knees drop in towards each other. And just hold for about 3 breaths in this version of constructive rest pose. And then slowly walk the feet in about hip distance apart, knees about hip distance apart. Bring your heels close to your body. Bring your arms down at your sides, palms down. And work with a little bit of bridge. So on the inhale, press into your feet and lift your hips about 1 inch off the mat. Exhale and lower hips down. Inhale, press hips up. And exhale, lower down. You can stay with this version or try another. Inhale, press hips up. Stay for a breath. Inhale and exhale in place. Inhale, press the hips maybe a little bit higher. And exhale, slowly lower hips down. So that's version 2. In version 3, you bend your arms to like robot arms so that the backs of your arms are pressing down up to the elbow, from shoulder to elbow. Inhale, press into your feet and lift your hips. Stay for the exhale. And then inhale and press down through the backs of your arms and lift up a little bit higher. Imagine that you could bring your heart towards your chin. Hold for a breath. And then exhale and slowly lower down. So take your time working with any version of this bridge, either just simple lifts and lowers, lifts and holds, or lifts and pressing through the arms to get a little bit more height. Take your time. Make sure that breath is flowing and that you're getting good support from your feet, your arms, your hands. Take your time, and when you have worked comfortably through the sequence, release your hips down. Walk your feet out to the edges of your mat, wide, and let your knees drop in towards center. Pause for a few breaths here. And when you're ready, knees come apart. Let your knees drop from side to side. Windshield wipering. Yeah. If it feels good to let your knees drop to one side and hold for a breath or two, you can do that. Make sure you work to both sides. And when you're done, maybe you draw your knees in and hug them in, maybe rocking from side to side once more. We're going to make our way to bring our feet either up a wall or onto a chair or couch. I'm going to use my chair to demonstrate first, and then I'll show the wall. So I'm going to, from my lying down position, maneuver myself into position so that I can bring my lower legs to my chair. I think you can see me. Yes, it looks like you can. So from here, going to cross my right ankle above my left knee. So it's on my thigh. Maybe you stay here. You could even press your knee away from you gently. Maybe this is enough stretch for you. If you'd like more, you can slide your foot to the edge of your chair. My chair is not staying still. And by sliding your foot to the edge, you're drawing your knee towards you, and that should give you an extra stretch on the hip rotators on the right side. And take several breaths, softening and releasing. Arms can be at your sides, or hands can be on your legs, whatever feels comfortable. This is a version of pigeon pose. So stay with it for a few more breaths. Going to maneuver my way towards my wall so I can demonstrate on the wall. And when you're ready, bring your legs back to their starting position. I've now moved so I have my feet against a wall. So if you chose to work this way, your feet might be against the wall. My hips and knees are at about 90-degree angles. So I'm going to do the same thing we did on the chair, or on the wall, you might reach your right heel up a little higher and then cross your left knee so that it comes, the ankle is above the right knee onto your left thigh. I'm sorry, left. Okay. From here, if you're on the chair, maybe you're sliding your foot back, and your foot comes to the edge of the chair. If you're on the wall, slide your foot down so that your foot is pressing firmly into the wall. I hope this is making sense. You can softly press your knee away, or just rest into this version of pigeon pose. You should be feeling an opening in your hips, especially in the bent leg side, in those deep rotators in the hip that help us turn our legs in and out. We work those a lot today, so this is a good release. So stay here until you're ready to release, and either let your legs rest on the chair or extend your legs up the wall. If your bottom is too far away from the wall, let's see if you can squinch, that's the technical term, your way a little closer to the wall so that you can gently bring your heels up, coming into legs up the wall. So you're either in constructive rest with your lower legs on your chair, or you've walked your feet up the wall and you're in legs up the wall. Wherever you are, allow your body to be heavy, dropping deeply into the support of the earth. Feel the points of contact with the floor, the back of your head, the backs of your arms, your hips, maybe your lower legs on your chair or your heels on your wall. Feel the heavy leg bones dropping deeply into the hip sockets. This is an inversion, and it allows a return of blood flow from the extremities. Take some of the pressure off of the heart so that you can rest deeply. You may stay in whichever position you're in for as long as you like, and then make your way into a comfortable position for Shavasana. Maybe that means bringing your feet down and scooching back away from the wall, or maybe you stay exactly where you are. Take time to rest. I too have known loneliness. I too have known what it is to feel misunderstood, rejected, and suddenly not at all beautiful. O Mother Earth, your comfort is great, your arms never withhold. It has saved my life to know this. Your rivers flowing, your roses opening in the morning. O motions of tenderness. Begin to deepen your breath, bringing small movements into fingers and toes. If your legs are still up on wall or chair, carefully walk them down and slide back enough so that you can roll to one side and pause, allowing the blood to re-equalize throughout the body. Take your time pressing into your fingertips and making your way up to a seated position, allowing your attention to stay deeply inward for another moment or two. We'll seal our practice with 3 chants of Om. One for the love we feel, one for the loves we miss, and one for the community we create when we practice together. If you'd like to join, bringing hands to heart center, we'll inhale together. Om Shanti, peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your hearts, your practice with each other, with me. Hope you have a beautiful day.